Hello and welcome to Casual Veteran Gamer. In the video today I'm going to be looking at the human and Githyanki races. I've chosen to put these two together because neither of them get any choices at level 1, so there's not much to talk about actually when we're creating them. So for humans, what they get is +1 in every single ability, so strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom and charisma. I have heard from playing Dungeons & Dragons that some people on the internet, the great hive mind of the internet, seem to think that the humans are boring and too many people have humans. There's a whole thing of the human fighter being the most played race and class combination. Now, part of the reason I think people think this is because it's a bit boring, but I'd also say that humans are the most relatable. In terms of stats, they also don't get anything special or unique. They're not immune to sleep, there's no dark vision, there are no spells, no weapon proficiencies, armor proficiencies. It's just +1 to all the stats. So the only thing we can really affect by being a human are our ability scores. Now, +1 to everything, like first might seem a bit useless, but actually it allows humans to be any class and be good at any class. So let's go to a class. Let's say cleric, right? That's where we are now. Right, cleric. What can I do? So don't need charisma. Put that down. Don't need intelligence. Wisdom's already maxed out, and I've still got some stats to play with. So maybe I want to have my cleric being really good in combat with melee weapons, so I give them extra strength. Maybe I don't care for that so much, right? Maybe I'm going to be using ranged weapons. I can put lots into dex. There's 16 dexterity and an extra 1 in strength. Basically for humans, they've got the option to have 2 stats at 16, so 2 plus 3 modifiers, and 1 at 14 at +2. Or another, I think, decent choice is 1 at 16 and 3 more at 14, so +3 in one stat, your main stat, and +2 in 3 others. So we can create a cleric here who's got the maximum wisdom they can, so the spells are as strong as they can be. Now they're not as strong as a fighter by any means, but they're only 1 behind on their modifiers for strength and dexterity and constitution. So I could change wisdom for intelligence. All of a sudden, I'm going to be a really good wizard who has now probably got the highest, but nearly the highest armor class and hit points of that any wizard can have. And also isn't that bad in combat. I mean, strength's going to be useful for every character because it allows you to jump further and carry more things. It doesn't matter who you are, you want to be able to do that. The main advantage of being a human, is even though it might be a bit boring for some people, is we can choose any class and know that we're going to be strong. When I played my ranger and did a video on the ranger, I was playing as a human. And the reason for this is because I felt like as a ranger, I want lots of dexterity, constitution and intelligence. So I did that. I think this is what I did. I had +16 dexterity, so I can use my ranged weapons really well, and finesse weapons. Not intelligence. Oops. 16 wisdom in case any enemies need to make a saving throw, which will be done against my wisdom modifier. And +2 constitution. Gonna need that as a ranger, because potentially I'm going to be in melee combat. So I need to be able to take a few hits. So there's not much more to say about the humans in terms of the race, because this is what they get. Base facial speed is 30, it's the average, +1 on every ability score. My final thoughts on humans: they're not bad, and they're not as bad as the rap they get in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, I don't think. They've got the flexibility to be any class and have decent stats to begin with. The downside to them is they don't have any special abilities. So if you're looking for something a bit less boring than a human or something with a few more abilities, I'd probably suggest half-elf instead of human, because you still get to pick 2 different abilities to put +1 in, as well as already having charisma +2. So I think there's a good argument to be made that if you're going to go human, you almost may as well go half-elf, because you get some extra perks as well as just having the flexibility of being in any class as well. Not a bad choice though. I picked it myself for the ranger, didn't actually regret it. I'm quite happy to have been a human while playing on the ranger. Moving on to the Githyanki then. So just like humans, there's no choice. Once we click on Githyanki, this is what we get. So base facial speed is 30, just pretty average, and their abilities improvements ability bonuses are intelligence +1 and strength +2. So this is quite limiting because there are no sub-races. If we pick up a Githyanki, the 2 best classes are going to be fighter and wizard. Fighter because fighters use strength for their melee weapons, and most fighters probably will be using melee weapons. And then wizards because that +1 intelligence helps you get to intelligence up to 16 at character creation. What we do get extra though is light armor and medium armor proficiency, which is really useful for any classes that might only get, well, no armor proficiencies or just light armor. Such as a wizard, when I played my wizard, I played it as a Githyanki, and I found it was really good in the end. My intelligence was 16, my strength was, I forgot what my strength was, probably just average, 12 or something. Once I got hold of some medium armor, my armor class was 17. And that was without any spells, and it was better than I was going to have using mage armor as a spell. So I saved myself a spell slot every single day. And then also, because I got these weapon proficiencies, short sword, long sword, and great sword, I was wielding a great sword. Now, I would admit, I didn't really use the melee weapon on my wizard, but I just thought it looked cool. I've got a wizard walking around in medium armor, which was the Githyanki half-plate, and the great sword, but like slinging spells out and using magic missile. One other extra thing that Githyanki get is this mage hand, which is a bit different to any other of the any other ways of getting the cantrip mage hand, because it's invisible, which means that you can use it for scouting. And also, you can kind of abuse it a bit. The first time I ever had Lae'zel using Mage Hand, I got into combat, but my Mage Hand wasn't. I was just pushing the imps around. So I think this Githyanki Mage Hand is kind of a little bit abusable. Some people might not see it as abuse, it's using the game's mechanics. I understand that. I never used it. I always felt a little bit bad. Even as a single player game, right, do what you want. But I just felt a little bit guilty just using this invisible Mage Hand just to push everyone away so they couldn't ever get close to me. I will also show you what we get at level 3 for Githyanki as well, and then a few final thoughts on each of the classes. So here's the potential abuse of Mage Hand. I've already cast Mage Hand. The time on it is running down, but it's not in combat, so it's free to move where it wants. And I can shove, maybe I don't want this golden here. 50% chance, not great, but poof, off it goes. And my Mage Hand isn't in combat. Okay, maybe I just want to put, oh, okay, you're being pushed that way, are you? And I can keep doing this until Mage Hand, the duration of it runs out. As soon as you attack though, then it stops being invisible. Let's have one go, right? And now it's in combat because it can be seen. And that's the time, that's the duration of the spell up anyway. As I mentioned earlier when I played through to Githyanki, I was a wizard, we are class wizard, versus Githyanki. Here I am in all my glory. This is actually medium armor, not heavy armor, and my greatsword. And at level 3, Githyanki get jump. This is a really useful spell. You don't have to cast it on yourself, you can cast it on someone else. It lasts 10 rounds, which is a minute, and it triples jumping distance. Now, inside Dungeons and Dragons, that's not necessarily all that great, because jumping uses up your movement. But within this game, jumping only takes up 10 feet of movement. So when you triple your jumping distance, you can jump really, really far, and only use up 10 feet of your movement. So you can move, jump, and then move. And I'll show you jump in action in just a second. Okay, so I'm about to cast jump. This is from being a Githyanki. I'm going to cast it on my thief. It's to get 2 bonus actions, one of which could be jump, one of which could be something else. I'm going to show you the range of the jump very soon. Now jump. I'm not going to jump down there because I'm going to end up prone. But the point is, I can jump to anyone I want. You know what? Maybe I'll do it just to show you, right? Dangers of jump. But I can end up being next to any enemy I want. So I'm going to lose my action by doing this. But I think that's insane that I can jump that far. Anyway, yeah, the last thing about jump is it doesn't require concentration. So my wizard can now go and cast another spell. Concentration spell if I wanted to. My final thoughts on the Githyanki. As a race, they're pretty solid because of their armor proficiencies and weapon proficiencies. Also the fact they get invisible mage hand and jump. However, it's a bit disappointing that they're kind of limited to playing just 2 classes if you want to be good with that class. Maybe if you played past level 4, you can kind of make up for the fact that you can't get 16 in other stats, just strength and intelligence. But yeah, I really recommend playing the race, especially as a wizard. It gives a different take on being a wizard. If you've enjoyed the video at all, please leave a like. Do leave comments if you believe I've made some wrong choices or got something wrong. All subscriptions are appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one. I have no idea what's going on. There's some bug. And you can't move again. What the f...